One careless mistake, one photograph, shattered every illusion I had. It was a Sunday afternoon when it happened. I was sitting on the couch, mindlessly scrolling through my phone, letting the background noise of the television drown out the silence of the house. My wife, Lauren, had gone out for a client shoot earlier in the day. She was a photographer, always snapping, always editing, always sharing. That was her world, and I had always supported it. A notification popped up. Lauren posted a new photo. I tapped it open without thinking. It was a mirror selfie, the kind she always took. Her standing in front of a vanity, smiling at the camera, makeup flawless, her hair slightly tousled. She looked beautiful as always. But my eyes weren't on her. They were on the reflection behind her. It was subtle, easy to miss if you weren't looking. But once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. A man. It's not very clear, but it's enough to make me think. A broad-shouldered figure, standing in the doorway of what wasn't our bedroom. I stared at the image, my fingers tightening around my phone. I zoomed in. He was shirtless. My pulse pounded in my ears. I tried to reason with myself. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe it was an old photo. Maybe there was an explanation. But deep down, I already knew. The world I thought I knew had just been set on fire. My hands were ice cold as I clicked on the comments. A dozen friends had already liked the picture, leaving compliments about how stunning she looked. Nobody noticed what I had. Or if they did, they didn't say anything. I swallowed the lump in my throat and forced myself to breathe. I needed proof. I clicked on her profile, scrolled through her posts. Some were work-related, portraits of clients, behind-the-scenes shots. But as I kept looking, a pattern emerged. Little things I had ignored before. A photo from a month ago, Lauren at a cafe, a half-empty beer bottle in the corner of the frame. She didn't drink beer. I did, but I hadn't been with her that night. A picture of her working late, a glass of red wine in the background. Lauren only drank white. A boomerang video of her laughing, a masculine hand flashing briefly into the frame before disappearing. I had been blind. I stood abruptly, my chest heaving. The room around me suddenly felt suffocating, like the walls were closing in. I needed air. I needed out. I drove aimlessly for hours, my mind racing through every interaction, every moment of our marriage. When had it started? How long had she been lying to me? Was it one man, or had there been others? I couldn't go home. Not yet. Instead, I pulled into a parking lot, my hands shaking as I unlocked her laptop. I knew her password. She never changed it. Her entire career revolved around photography, editing, archiving, organizing. If she had been hiding something, it would be there. And I was right. Tucked away in a folder, buried under labeled work files, was a hidden album, a collection of pictures that had never been posted. I clicked on the first one. Lauren, smiling, sitting at a bar. Next to her, the same man from the reflection. My breath caught in my throat. I scrolled through the images, my heart pounding. Some were innocent, public settings, casual conversations. But then I found the ones that weren't. A hotel room, their bodies tangled together. Lauren, naked, standing by a window, looking over her shoulder at him. A video, Lauren laughing, whispering something into the camera before the frame blurred with motion. I didn't need to watch to know what came next. I slammed the laptop shut, my entire body trembling. This wasn't a one-time thing. This wasn't a mistake. This was a double life. And I had been nothing but a fool. I drove home in silence. Cold. Focused. My emotions had burned away, leaving only the remnants of something dark and unshakable. Lauren was in the kitchen when I walked in, humming to herself as she poured a glass of wine. She glanced up, smiling, completely unaware that I knew. "Hey babe," she said. "You were gone for a while." I stared at her. At the woman I had shared my life with. At the liar, the stranger, the betrayer. I forced myself to nod. Yeah, just needed some air. Her smile didn't falter. She had no idea that everything was about to collapse around her. And I was going to be the one to pull it all down. For the next few days, I acted like everything was normal. Like I didn't know. Lauren continued living her double life, smiling at me in the morning, texting him at night. Every time she kissed me, touched me, told me she loved me, I let it happen. Because soon, she'd have nothing left. And she wouldn't see it coming. Lauren's photography was her life. Every client, every project, every memory, stored on her hard drives, backed up in her archives. Years of work, thousands of photos, all carefully organized. She treated them like gold. So I made sure she lost it all. One night, when she was asleep, I plugged in her external drives. I watched as they mounted on the screen, labeled neatly, Clients, Personal, Archive. I opened them one by one. Then I started deleting. Not just the files, the backups too. The portraits she had taken, the weddings she had captured, the project she had spent years building gone in seconds. Every piece of work she had ever created, erased. And I didn't stop there. I logged into her cloud storage. The space where she kept her most important files, where she backed up the irreplaceable. And I wiped that, too. Her career. Her passion. Her identity. By the time I was done, there was nothing left. The next morning, I sat at the kitchen table, drinking my coffee, waiting. Lauren woke up late, stretching lazily before heading to her office. I heard the click of her laptop, the soft hum of the drive spinning. Then silence. Then panic. A gasp. A frantic shuffle. The sound of clicking, more clicking, faster, harder. I leaned back, listening. No, 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 what the hell? Her voice cracked. Where is everything? I took another sip of coffee. She ran out of the room, her face pale, her breath short. Patrick, my files, they're gone. Everything. My photos, my clients' projects, even my backups. I don't understand it. I set my mug down, looked her in the eyes, and smiled. Her face froze. I stood up slowly, towering over her. I know, Lauren. Her lips parted, confusion flickering across her face. What are you talking about? I let the silence stretch. Let her feel it. Let her drown in it. Then, I pulled out my phone, opened the photo of her betrayal, the selfie with the reflection. I held it up. Let her see exactly how careless she had been. Her breath hitched. Patrick, I can explain. I tilted my head. Explain what? That you were sleeping with another man in a hotel while I was waiting for you at home. Tears welled in her eyes. It wasn't like that, Io. I threw my phone onto the counter. The impact made her flinch. Don't lie to me. She shook, her hands trembling. She reached for me, but I stepped back. I had loved this woman. I had built a life with her, believed in her, sacrificed for her. And she had thrown it away like it was nothing. Now, she had nothing. You destroyed my life, she whispered. I laughed. Cold, cruel, empty. No, Lauren, you did that yourself. Tears streamed down her face. I can fix this. I turned away. You already lost. She collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. But I felt nothing, because she wasn't my wife anymore. She was just a mistake I erased.